Starting in escape rooms, being nervously stuck. Old school hip hop that we search to discuss. Show you being quirky's a plus. Blessed by the one who was worthy of just. United together by the purpose of love. We are perfectly imperfect, and that's perfectly us. All right, welcome back to a Perfectly Us podcast. I am your host, TJ Purcell. This is my beautiful host.
Oh, sorry, I almost dropped the dog.
The dog almost fell. He's so excited to record. I am your host, TJ. This is
Cindy,
and that is
courageous.
and we are here to follow up. We told you last time we recorded that we would be back shortly with tips on how to solve an escape room. About 3 months later, but you know what?
We're
We-
perfecting it.
We want to make you wait for the good stuff.
Yes.
And so, as a precursor to kind of what we talked about last time, we gave our reasonings for why we do love escape rooms. We talked about a little bit about the hashtag Purcell Project Road to 50. We'll go into more in depth with that next time, as well as our ranking system and getting to choose which escape room we rank first. Be sure to like, subscribe, do all that stuff. The algorithms love when y'all do that. It gets us paid.
It feeds him. Look, you
It-
go, look.
Feed this one. We need more than 3 of you to like this because this dog
Look,
needs to get fed.
he's so sad, like a commercial. Look
Look
at
at that.
it. Look. Okay.
For 6 cents a day,
Exactly.
you could
Hmm.
no, we're not actually feeding you. So this one, talking about tips on how to solve escape rooms. We just finished one couple days ago, last week.
Last week. Yeah, last weekend.
Last week. You know,
We didn't escape.
did escape, but we followed our tip plan, and maybe you, them,
Okay.
can escape.
Can escape.
So, best way do this, we'll just kind of just spitball back and forth different ideas that work for us and our escape room prowess to make sure when all of you go to your escape rooms, you have the best chance at survival. These tips are in no particular order because we're perfectly us. We didn't prepare this list. Not about that life. So, honey, what is a tip that you want to tell the people?
So a tip I would say would be to look at all parts of the room. I think that most people have like that eye level sense of the room where like you kind of like to see what's right in front of you. But I mean, as you can imagine, escape rooms are designed to do things that are hidden. One of my favorite things to do in a room is to find things that are hidden. And so you just kind of like look in the most obscure places where you wouldn't think to look, just because that's typically where they'll put those things.
Yes, they tell you some rooms actually will even give you like nothing's gonna go above this line, but then everything under that line is still good.
Yeah.
And along to kind of bite off of that, not just look all around the room, look under stuff, rugs,
Yeah.
behind picture slide.
Inside pockets.
Inside pockets. If there's a closet with clothing,
Chances are.
look inside the clothing.
Yeah.
Look at all.
Yeah.
Something that I'll add kind of when you start is know your team. Know your strengths. Know what people are good at.
Yeah.
Basically. So if we go into a room and we've gotten to a point with us, if there is any type of numerical math type of puzzle, she just here.
Yeah.
And then she allows me to cook on that while she goes and does what she just said. She goes and finds all of the things. It's another tip you would give the people. You should probably write these down.
Well, I mean, I know this subject is like super obnoxious to us in escape rooms. When you've used something one time, it's done. And unless the host tells you, hey, there might be something that you can do for multiple things, is hardly ever that case. And so when you've used it, put it away, put it aside, get it out of your face, out of your mind, because you're always going to go right back to it and go, oh, wait, but you've already used it. So get rid of it.
Mm-hmm. And generally, when you get rid of it, set them all in the same spot. So
Yeah.
y'all have like this is the getting rid of stuff
Yeah, the pile.
pile. I would say the first thing that we do when we go into a room, excuse me, is burp. That's the first thing.
how we
60
do it.
minutes,
Mhm.
gotta get it out.
Yeah.
But the first thing we do before we even kind of start looking at clues is look at what kind of locks
Mhm.
they have
Yeah.
or what kind of clues are needed. If it's a room without locks,
Right.
then okay, what are we actually looking for?
Right.
For example,
Have a plan.
have a plan. For example, if
Unlike this video.
plan overrated, like
Come up with a plan on the spot.
on the spot dice plan.
Nice plan.
Look at that. Look that up. It's funny. So for example, if we look around and we see one combination lock has 3 numbers, one has 5 letters, then we know when we're surveying and looking for clues, if we see something with 3 numbers, then aha, probably
Right.
that.
Right.
What else would you add?
I would say just to be mindful of your time, because you don't realize how fast that goes truly until you're like, oh dang, we only have 20 minutes left and you have like a million things you have to do. Most of the time, now every escape room is a bit different, but most of the time, generally speaking, there's multiple rooms that you go into. And so be mindful of that. You're just because you've gotten blown through the first room does not necessarily mean you're going to get through the time. You have to be mindful of your like trying to divide the time as much as you can and don't get stuck trying to shoot a BB gun. Okay.
Spoiler alert.
That's how we didn't get out of the last one.
I hope that's the first story that comes up on our system because we got some thoughts
Yeah.
on that one. Another clue that I would say, use a clue. Use a clue.
Use a hint.
Clues, hints. It's okay if you use them. Most places, I think the design of escape rooms when they first started was because I think the last 30 we've gone to.
Yeah.
In the opening montage video, if you use a hint, it'll take off.
It tells you,
5
penalizes
seconds.
you.
It'll penalize you. They don't.
No, they don't.
They don't. Use the hints because A, it helps you.
Yeah.
B, just remember there's somebody on the other side watching you, and they're watching you for 60 minutes.
Right.
Give them something to do.
Right.
Like make it worth their time. Otherwise, they're just like, oh, look at these. There's these.
Well, it also like it gives you a jump start of things. So it doesn't. I think what people think of because they want to be challenged, right? So and we want to be challenged, but people think of hints as being something that's like a clue in the sense of cheat code or whatever. It's not. Half the time they don't give you anything that makes any sense. I mean, but they give you something enough to have like a jump start of like, okay, well, maybe we should go look at this. They don't give you straight up the answer. They don't like, oh, here's your clue. Like, here's the, the actual thing. They give you something that makes you think about something that you may not have thought about it before. And so that's the whole point of the hint.
Yes, it's just a little trigger, little push.
Yeah, just a little nudge in the right direction.
Little nudge. It's just, we all need nudges sometimes.
Yes.
Another clue.
Another hint.
Another for you.
Another
hint.
Another hint. Another clue. A tip. I would honestly say, I think kind of along the lines of what TJ was saying about like what kind of combinations are in the room and what's in the room. Also kind of know your theme of your room. So your theme of a room really is going to give you kind of the layout of what you're looking for. So like, for instance, if we were in a room for a submarine, which we have been, but if you're in a submarine room, chances are most things are going to be under the sea. I don't know, crazy, I know. But that's because you're under the sea, right? And so when you're looking for things, you're looking for things that are nautical, things that are ocean life, whatever. And so more than likely the clock on the wall that's telling you like it's the actual clock is not a part of it. See what I'm saying? Just like clues and logic, just be logical of what really probably would be in the room that you need to use.
Yes, and to kind of add to that, know your theme, but also know what stands out of the theme. So, for example, in Cindy's example of we're in a submarine,
Hmm.
um, if you're searching for underwater clues, and all of a sudden there's an airplane down there,
Hmm.
well, that's probably out of the way.
Probably something,
There's
right?
probably something for that. Or if we are in a forest and you see a staircase,
Chances are.
probably something in and or with the staircase.
Hmm.
Um, let's see, we talked about hints, talked about themes, strengths.
Hmm.
Yeah, we're just spitballing here.
Well, I think more than so knowing your team, one thing, right? And to know their strengths and things of that nature. I think that that's very important. But I think more than that, when you're in a room, divide and conquer, right? So because there are things like, as an example, I love the labyrinth, and if you don't know what that is, it's like how you get from point A to point B within the maze of things, right? It's a maze, and I love a maze. And so if there's a maze in the room, and then there's like other like logical questions or things of that nature, then we divide and conquer. Okay, let me go do that. Don't team up to the sense of where you're like both working on one thing at a time, because then you're going to really get held up on that part unless your team really needs you. But try to like divide with your strengths and conquer the room, because then chances are maybe what you're doing is going to unlock what he's doing.
Yes, exactly. Unless there's a part where you're the only move to do is to wait for
Right.
BB
And that's happened.
guns to be shot.
Happened before. Yeah.
But yes, use that is a good clue. Also communicate. The whole thing
Yeah.
of an escape room
It's like
is
team building.
it's a team building exercise, and
Yeah.
in communication, there aren't wrong answers. Remember that. Okay.
There's
I
wrong
mean,
answers.
what I mean by that is all ideas are on the table
Yeah, they're definitely right
until
until
they're
you
not
rolled
on
it out.
the table.
Exactly.
So, for example, if we're doing 3-digit numbers
Hmm.
and you throw out a 7-digit number, yeah, not on the table.
Probably not that.
Not on the table.
It
But
might be
if
three
there's
in the side of the seven.
or it could be that one,
Yeah.
333 and the 7
Yeah. Anyway.
into that. But with that, like there's communicate with your team
Mhm.
because you don't want to like make somebody call them an idiot, call them stupid, like, or treat them in that way so that now you're stuck in a room with the person you just pissed off for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
That's that's not
But
fun.
and truly, like with what you're saying, if you think about it, most escape rooms are designed for all different types of brain activities, right? And so, not one logic person is not going to get out of a room by themselves, because it's not all about logic. And so, or one person who just finds a bunch of hidden stuff and can do like fun game things is not going to get out of a room without having. But then, so if you have another person who just thinks obscurely, chances are they're going to be very helpful, because there's going to be things in that you're like, oh my God, I never would have, like, who would have thought of that? Except for somebody who has an obscure brain like you, right? And so I think that you need this type of personality, you need this type of minds to help you, because you probably would never think of that.
I think biblically it says the eyes and the legs are part of the same body, but they have different functions.
Right.
Same thing.
Right.
Same thing with
But they
that.
all collectively work together for
They're
a
all
whole,
part of
right.
one body.
Right.
What's another hint? I think you gave that one, but
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's kind of in a nutshell of what I would think of right offhand, just so that, because when we did the first escape room, I should say, we didn't really know what we were getting into, and we had to do it with a group of people, because prior to COVID, you had to be with a bunch of people. I will say that's like one good thing that came out of COVID was that we could be by ourselves, but um, to understand, you one may not be by yourself, but two, what you're actually getting into. And so I think that when you go in there just assuming you're just like you're the smartest person in the room, or you're just going to do whatever it takes to get out of there, may not be the best idea. Because there have definitely been rooms that we've done that are like more technical rooms were like what, like building a computer. um,
Binary code.
yeah, so you may not know those. I mean, I didn't get taught that in school, so but you may. I don't know. And so I just think that you just need to go in there. It's a fun thing to do. It takes your time to kind of enjoy who you're with and communicate, like you said, and just have a good building exercise. It's okay that you don't escape. That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. The whole
Yeah.
that actually was the last one I thought of, but you said of it. This is fun.
It's fun.
If you're paying for the experience,
Yeah.
enjoy the experience. Now you can nitpick as we will when we
We will.
record this because make sure the props work. I'm just saying, we paid for it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's fun.
Yeah.
You and your people can all gather and talk after and be like, remember that time when we shot BB guns?
Exactly.
Remember
We're gonna
that?
try that for a long time.
So fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an experience. You're not always gonna escape. You're not always gonna win. Sometimes you're gonna be a loser. But
Mhm.
sometimes it's okay to be a loser
Mhm.
because you're with the people that you love and like. Be winners with them. Win at life. Lose at the game, win at life. Or beat the game too.
Yeah. I mean, that's fun too.
that's also fun. Anything else as far as tips? We probably should like list these, but you just have to watch it multiple times and like and subscribe every time.
Mhm.
The algorithm gets us paid. Feed him.
Exactly.
Anything else that I can't think.
I mean, I would love to hear other people's experiences because we can only say what we have experienced and like what we feel like is a good idea. But I would love for you to kind of give us some feedback on what do you think? What has helped you in the past? And have you done an escape room? And have you haven't, what's held you up for doing it? Like, like that kind of it's just a fun experience to do. And I highly recommend it to do because it is something that every person can enjoy because there's something different for everybody.
Mhm. It gets you out of your comfort zone for some
Yeah.
people, and you can just enjoy the time
Yeah.
with each other. It's fun. We've done 48, so I
Yes.
mean, you can do a couple. But
Yeah.
yes, leave us email.
Yes.
At the end in the show notes, it's all there. Before we close, I want to. I wanted to play this video because I want your authentic reaction. Because I want the authentic reaction too. I have not seen this. This has to do with the playoff game that just happened last weekend. Normally this is be the only Taylor Swift mention we'll ever have on this podcast.
Unless our son's here.
Unless our son's here. Actually, shout out to you, Edward,
Yeah.
talking about Taylor Swift.
Watch.
Watch for the last 2 minutes of this. But they said that it was Taylor Swift, it was Patrick Mahomes' wife, and Travis Kelce's mom. Towards the end of the game, I'm just gonna play the clip, and then I will let you explain to the people what we are watching.
Okay.
Pressure and bring the blitzes like Devin's talking about. And the most impressive thing is Mahomes, the answers, play after play, and knowing where to go with all the all-out blitzes. Kansas City was well schooled in that and was very, very well prepared for it as well. You want to talk any more about Taylor's jacket? Oh, you know what? I do want to talk about Taylor's jacket. I mentioned in the
Would you like to describe what we just watched?
I mean, she was swag surfing.
It was the most god awful attempt of a swag surf.
Well,
When you swag surf, and we're not the best at it.
it's-
The whole point of swag surfing is you just sway. It's not. It's simple.
keeping it right here.
It's simple. You keep it here. You don't punch.
She had her whole body.
She's throwing jabs.
She was feeling that
It's a
swag
swag-
surf.
She's throwing jabs, and she's like she's doing like ab
She was
exercises
involved
with this
with the swag surf.
swag. It's here. It's yeah.
Yeah. That's not a tip for escape rooms.
If you are going to
If
swag
you have to
surf,
swag surf in an escape room, then
Nope.
that's the one I want to go to because they'll let me know.
yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
And if you're curious, just look up Taylor Swift swag surfing. It's with that with that being said, that's a bonus clip for
Yeah.
you guys. Next time we come to you, we will talk about our ranking system again. Briefly go over the Purcell Project Road to 50 and show off our little spinny wheel and actually rate one of our previous 48 escape rooms.
Nice. Awesome.
And so with that being said, if you have questions or you disliked, you got escape room
Yeah.
tips that we didn't mention,
Yeah.
what works for you, leave us an email, leave a message. And Kay, thank you for watching.
Thanks, AK. We love you.
We love you so much. You are helping our dog being fed. With that being said, I'm TJ.
Cindy.
This is the Perfectly Us podcast, and we will see you next time.
Okay, we're gonna swag surf up. No, we're not gonna do it together though.
No, we're not going to do that.